Hello, Supercars in Seconds here. Today we've got the modern flagship of the Lexus line, the V8 powered Lexus LC500 Coupe. The now famous spindle grille where they squeeze it in just there looks really nice on the car. Very futuristic in her look. Even the LEDs are cool up here. Lots of great details. Obviously the paintwork is excellent on a Lexus always. The only metal part really, a steel part I should say, is the fender. Everything else will be aluminum with carbon fiber backs. So aluminum skin here, and you'll see the forged carbon fiber on the inside. So very cool stuff. Trunk lid is the same way. Excellent details inside, just beautiful quality. I like the mixture of the Alcantara and this first class leather. An excellent design on the seat too, very neat looking how this comes up over here. Just really nice to be around and to see. Actual metals used throughout and alloys. Really just a nice interior that makes the car feel special. So obviously car is locked here now, it's back end very beautiful. And as I walk up to it, I've got the key here. This is a leather wrapped one. I'm going to hit the unlock button and you'll watch this handle. There it comes. It pops out, the Lexus logo, and I pull from underneath. A bit like a Jaguar handle, I guess. Pull on that to open up this lovely door. I like it at the rear of the car. They have these almost grayed out lights. And when I hit the lock on the key, you'll see that it's orange through that reflector. It's so cool. It's silver clear, but then it does reflect orange through that. You may not notice it, you've got a little camera under here for backup and a little tiny button here, which is our trunk. And a good size, very wide right into each corner on the sides there, and pretty deep, but not that high, maybe only 18 inches high here. But certainly a useful size for a coupe. The front half of the car here, you can start to see the reflections off our lovely building here at Dimmitt, but you start to see the reflections of these crazy front fenders. I love how it's like stretched into the body. Very cool looking in all of its design. Reminds me of like a show prototype, you know, like you may have seen at the Geneva show or something. So it is a very futuristic shape that I've always enjoyed. It came out in 2018 and this is a 2018 car. So lifting up the hood here, have a little strut. See our suspension mounted on a slight angle, rather cool looking there. So we have the 5-litre 8-cylinder, naturally aspirated of course, 471 horsepower, 398 pounds of torque, driving the rear wheels through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Really a nice powertrain, actually a good sound. I wish I had a bit more sound, but again, this is more of a grand touring coupe. This metallic paint is gleaming. You get this 20-inch wheels on the car. 245 here, 275 here, so a staggered size on the car. And super cool rotors. You'll notice that it's a different aluminum hub here for the iron disc itself. So that saves a ton of weight. Not really, again, like a mega track type car, but certainly a sports car that gives you a lovely feel on the road. But let's climb inside and I'll show you all the options inside. All right, so closing us in, very heavy door, nice feeling of quality on everything also. Steering wheel is very cool, all this stitched leather around it, and very easy to understand buttons, very clear, you know, volume. It's all very simple to understand. I like the polished metal paddles on the back. Engine start stop is back behind here, so let's press the button and start her up. And that V8 comes to life. Gosh, it's cool. Nice displays and everything. And you can certainly change the way it looks. As I pan around the car, you can see it's really just nice finishes on everything, just unique and different. The alloys mixed in for the air conditioning controls here. And I do like that it's separate than the screen is up there. I can control that with a little mouse type device down here. A little mode adjuster over here. I can turn this and change the display or go into Sport Plus, of course. Down in the center, this is kind of fun. On the gear lever, you have to push it to go and then back, pull it that way for drive. So across and forward, across and back will put it into the gear. So for reverse, push it to the left and forward, it then comes into reverse. Back then to drive, and it comes back to the navigation screen. Down here I've got a little storage, just push on that and it operates very soft. Nice cup holder there, leather wrapped. Further back here is interesting. If I push on this, I can slide that back. Then I can reach underneath. I got a little button to open this up. USB exhaust, 12-volt power, and so on. But the cup holder here is nice. Push this forward and it slides back up. All right, so let's get going. Got it down in drive. I'm gonna mess with the display here. Got a little button on the side there. Watch the display now. This is just cool. I'm very easily pleased with this sort of stuff. It has a nice heads-up display too. I'll zoom it in. I've put it against that black Bentley so you can see it over there. So it gives me like a compass, the rev counter, and the speed. So it's a nice one. I am available to move everything around on that over on the heads-up display button over here. Fuel tank, of course, we've got a 22-gallon fuel tank, and it'll do over 20 to the gallon. If you're being careful with the car, she'll do over 20 to the gallon. So really a very useful long-distance cruiser. All right, so let's take off here. Now, 471 horsepower, V8, of course. That 10 gears really helps a car like this be super smooth. Because she's a big car, 77 inches wide, it's a nice size on the road. It feels big, very much. If you've driven like an 8 Series coupe BMW, that in the 6 Series, it's that sort of size car on the road. The feeling of quality is evident in everything, especially the stuff that you touch. Whatever my elbow sits on, the steering wheel itself is really soft leather. It is perforated for the hand grips here, but just a nice shape, a little bit thicker than it would be in most of the Lexus cars. I like it a lot. All right, let's hit this thing. Oh, it's good. Oh, transmission snaps nicely. Good sound, up to 7,000 revs on this big V8. And it is a big engine too, it feels big as you're moving down the road. So pulling away from standstill, I'm in Sport Plus. More responsive than you would think. Holds the gears nicely too. Nice little burble out of that big V8. All right, let's go down into Batman's corner here. Make sure nothing's coming. I'll put it down into the manual mode. So I've got to use the paddles. Oh, it's quick. Very good. See how flat she stayed. Oh, it's good. It held the revs up high there. Very nice. Doesn't lean much, very soft and compliant, but not a lot of body roll. Right, let's try those multi-purpose different material brakes here. Let's have a look. Oh, it's good, it's good. Moves around a bit and then grabs, release and grabs again. So it's dependent on how hard you push it. It really gives a different personality. When I was more gentle earlier, it was definitely more progressive. Pretty easy to drive. I'm being fairly aggressive with it, and of course a lot of the owners don't buy this car for that, but I just can't help it. The transmission is impressive. Let's say the 10 gears really make it. You think that would be too many, but it's not. What it gives it is very quick off the line acceleration in about just over 4 seconds, 4.3 to 60 miles an hour, about 12 seconds in the quarter mile. So not mega performance, but a nice amount for a big luxury cruiser. So coming down to our right-hander, I think I'll leave it in third. Brakes feel good, good initial bite on them. Turn-in's really good. Excellent steering on this car. A lot of the big luxury cars have zero feel in the steering. This one I can definitely feel a little reflectors in the road through the wheel as I turn in here. Nice movement of the body. It's not a sudden snap. Very progressive and a good experience to drive. I like it a lot. This would be a fun car to drive on a very long trip on the back roads, you know. Gosh, I've been very impressed with the car. You're not expecting these luxury cars to be as sporting as that. Once I get it into the Sport Plus mode, it really became a different animal and very fun to drive. I'll point you back at the car again, but very futuristic on every panel. Nice little hidden intakes down the side there. And really a lot of fun. That 10-speed transmission is very responsive. The big takeaway, I think, is quality. This is a nice quality car to go on a longer trip. You know, it's soft, it's comfortable. The seats are amazing, very padded and luxurious. And I think it looks good from every angle. I think I like this rear 3/4 and that, but I think the front 3/4, because of that crazy fender, look at this thing. It's just a very beautiful car. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel if you don't mind. Be a part of this with us. We're having some fun. The car's very impressive. It's been, you know, I work in a silly world, and this has been a great car to drive. Very enjoyable, as I mentioned earlier. For longer trips, I think this would be a great car. You might notice in the background a big Rolls Royce over there. What I'll do, I'll put down in here a link to a video where I explain the Spirit of Ecstasy and why she's on the front of every Rolls Royce. I'll catch up with you again soon. Thank you.